Okay, Apple, I will say this. I'm impressed, more impressed, very impressed, and then losing all bladder control and just diarrhea function impressed, and then disappointed. What do I mean? Well, what has every Apple fanboy been talking about for the last couple of days, uh, for the last couple of hours since, today started. Yes, there are a whole new line of iPods and one horrible piece of crap. Let's start off with item number one, new iTunes. They finished it up, and as you can see, I zoomed in too close. But they put in a new icon, and I have to say, it looks good. And of course, I have it showing all my stupid apps on my outdated iPod Touch. And then here's Ping. And I am so excited about Ping, I stopped giving a shit about it. But I will say, it's nice. It's got good designs. I like some of the new designs, like the new volume control. Okay, now joking around. But it's good, and no arguments. Oh yeah, and they moved these to the side. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, but oh well. Okay, quit that and go to the next one. First, let's look at the new iPod Shuffles. And I will say that, well, I'm happy they finally put the buttons back on. They could have at least maybe done something like with the with the Magic Mouse and made it a touch and just painted the buttons on, but buttons are good and I'm happy because, as you know, the last venue of iPod Shuffles was how can I say this in a delicate tone? An absolute piece of shit. So, this is an improvement. They have the button controls. You can use different headsets with these. You're no longer stuck with the headsets they tell you. And as for those bubblegum sized iPod shuffles that can at least hold in 1,000 songs in them, which was the only impressive thing that thing had, no button controls on it whatsoever, go fuck yourselves, okay? Apple finally realized their mistakes, and I am very happy with these new shuffles. And of course, they come at $50. So, yeah, they're nice, small, compactive, and they do precisely what they're supposed to do. And I will say that Apple did a good job. And another good fix on on another iPod that needed it, the Nano. And I know most of you are saying, yeah, the iPod Nano's never needed a fix. Yes, it did. It had a stupid camera put on there, mounted like a complete idiot. I believe it's right where your palm is, and it didn't need it. It's a freaking iPod Nano, and it did not need the camera. So Apple finally realized their mistakes and removed it, and gone and pretty much replaced it with the touchscreen and got rid of the buttons at the bottom. And I have to say, this is impressive. It doesn't have the same gyroing that the iPod Touches have, which allows you, when you turn the iPod Touch left or right, the screen reacts to it, or whatever game you're playing on it. But it does have, taking art and twist it around until you can see it more right side up for yourself, and it's very impressive. And yeah, it's I think about the same size as the iPod Shuffle. A little bit on the pricey side, but still pretty good. And by the way, the iPod Shuffle costs about $50, and this costs us $149 for 8 gigs and $179, which is a bit pricey. Yeah, but still, it's a good price and it's a good deal, and it's all out a much more better iPod Nano. As for the Classic, they didn't discontinue it. They just didn't update it. But then again, why? Seriously, there's no real reason to update the iPod Classic. It's got all the things it needs. It's 80 fucking gigs. Why bother updating that? It's already perfect, and it does exactly what it's advertised to do. Of course, if they discontinue it, I will not miss it. I mean, it was good in its time, but I guess something's got to go. And then we come to what I was really happy about. And I can't wait to get my hands on one of these mothers. It is extremely good that they did all these changes to it. And I will say I love the new iPod touches. Basically, in a nutshell, they took all the good features in the iPhone 4, which is all of them, and then basically, minus the antenna and minus the fucking phone, they've created the iPod Touch, or recreated it. One camera for FaceTime at front, and one camera in the back, which does HD. And not only that, it has the same processor as the iPhone 4, and pretty much it technically is the iPhone 4, but with no phone. It's all Wi-Fi. So, iPod Touch, and of course the new revolutionary screen. It's a damn good camera. I mean, it's it's a damn good handheld device. It's just incredible. And I'm already started to save up money for this baby because it's definitely worth it. And of course, what makes it even better is no $500 to AT&T. Can't get much better than that. And then we come down to probably the most wonderfulest, most greatest acts of pieces of shit I've ever seen in my entire life. My only question with this marvelous piece of shit is why the fuck did Apple make this? Why the fuck did they make half of their iTVs? It's a niche market. It's never been successful, especially in the TV markets. Apple has constantly tried to put this device to everybody's television set, and yes, it comes at a nice price of $100. But you know what? You're better off with the fucking iMac Mini, because with the iMac Mini you can at least do a lot more. This one doesn't even have a hard drive, which is another faceplant. And then they added Netflix in there. Great. The Xbox 360, the Nintendo Wii, which is the cheapest, by the way, of all of the three consoles, and of course the PS3 all already have Netflix. So what the fuck am I supposed to do with this one? I mean, this is basically if somebody took the video streaming out of the Nintendo Wii, the Xbox 360, and the PS3 and took them out and made this piece of shit. Yes, it's small, it's got a lot of great ports and connectors to it, but it's worthless. It was worthless then, and it's worthless now. Just as I said on my ITV when I heard about those rumors. This is an idiotic device. It has no points, no idea. I mean, unless they attach something like this to a video game console, I'm sorry, Apple, this will never take off. It is dead in the water. It will always be dead in the water. And please, for the love of God, take this device out in the backyard and just shoot it and put it out of its fucking misery. It is a horrible, horrible device. It has absolutely no real value in it whatsoever. I already got in a fight with, one wreckable YouTube user. I'm not going to name names. And he did defend it, but I just said, you know what? Apple just needs to make a gaming console. I don't give a shit if it's good or bad, because this has been done to death, and every one of these devices have failed. I mean, the only way that they survived was putting them on fucking gaming consoles. So, Apple, you failed on this. It's just a complete failure. And yeah, you can show what you're showing on your iPod Touch on your TV. Like I give a flying fuck. Failure. Apple TV, ladies and gentlemen. It will always be a failure, no matter what Apple says. And the fact that they painted the thing fucking black does not change the fact it's still a fucking fail. Like I said, I'm very impressed with iTunes 10, and I now have it, and it's pretty nice. And it's a good graphics update with the new icon. I don't really care for ping, but it does good. The iPod Shuffle, well, way to fix up your clusterfuck from the last iPod Shuffles. But you fixed it, and good for you. The new iPod Nano, I'm impressed. And as well as being extremely impressed by the new iPod Touch. And pretty much I'll be wishing that the Apple TV never existed, or was shown, or even put up. No fucking hard drive. What are you, fucking on crack, Apple?